So you got your sweet AF gaming setup, got your fancy desk, you got enough RGB in your PC to make Unicorn Vomit look pretty damn mundane. Hell, you even got 144 FPS at 4K, some pretty balling performance all round in game. Good stuff. You even managed to go ahead and get a few games with your hardware deals. That's pretty nice indeed. But what's this? You've got the most basic keyboard and mouse combo that you could find until you could, quote, get a better one on your next paycheck. So, what do you get? Do you get the most expensive one? Do you get one of those fancy dandy mechanical keyboard doohickeys that you keep in hearing being passed around in hushed tones? Or do you do your research and just get an all-round good deal? Which is where we are today with the MSI Vigor GK80 with Cherry MX Red key switches. So, time for a bit of background for those of you that are new to both mechanical keyboards and, well, how they work in general. Generally, there are two types of keyboards. You've got membrane and mechanical switch keyboards. Membrane keyboards work by, well, when you press a button, it hits a rubber dome, which then presses onto a contact, which sets a signal. Whereas a mechanical keyboard works by actually having a mechanical actuation, with some of the most common mechanical keyboard switches being Cherry MXs. Also, huge shout out to them because they helped with the research for this video, as well as provided a few graphics for me to use, so again, shout out to Cherry MX. Anyway, Cherry MX have got 3 very prolific switches, with also kind of a whole host of options, so you can have it with either more or less force. Starting off then, we've got the Cherry MX Blues. When you press these down, they provide a very nice tactile clack, and makes them generally pretty damn good for typing. After that, you've got the Cherry MX Red series, which, generally speaking, have got a very nice smooth action with an average amount of force required to go ahead and press them down. And another one that you will see quite a lot are Cherry MX Speed Silvers. These generally tend to require very little force to actually go ahead and do the action, and are pretty damn quick on the draw, making them generally well suited for high-end gaming. Also, a huge shout out to Cherry MX Browns for their tactile bump, as they also are pretty good for typing, but unlike the Cherry MX Blues, they don't provide a clack, meaning if you're working in an office environment or with more than one person, generally speaking, you're not going to annoy the entire office. As a result of the mechanical build then, mechanical keyboards in general feel a lot less squishy or mushy than a standard membrane keyboard. They have far better tactile feedback than, again, a membrane keyboard. The keycaps also have better keycap stabilization, which means the keys don't wiggle as much when you go into type. Not to mention, due to the mechanical build of them, they actually last a hell of a lot longer. A lot of the time, though, they've had this long-standing issue of, well, being pretty expensive. Most of the time, you're paying quite a lot to get a genuine mechanical keyboard, otherwise you're probably going to get either a mechanical or a membrane keyboard, which I'll get on with in another review. Which, anyway, this brings us to this, the MSI GK80 Vigor, which, despite having a MSRP of about £140, can actually be picked up for as little as £80 in this case. And you actually get a fair bit of bang for your buck. You get a full 105 key keyboard with media keys, and all the switches, I am pretty sure, have got Cherry MX switches in them, which is actually pretty damn decent for that price. Starting off then with what you get in the box itself, you get the keyboard itself, a very nice removable wrist rest, which is very comfy to use, and also doubles as extra keycap storage. You get 3 special keycaps, which have a very nice texturized rubber feel, extra spacebar again with that same texturized rubber, a additional 8 standard keycaps, again with that same texturized rubber, the standard set of keycaps of course, as well as 4 so-called premium keycaps, which, well, what they are is they've got this very nice metal tipping on the top of them. It's very nice, it's very fun to use and all that lot, and I would say kudos to MSI. But, as you'll see in a bit, calling them premium is far overselling the quality of the product that was actually delivered. Anyway, you also get a very nice keycap puller. Other creature comforts include very nice inbuilt cable management, a comfortable braided cable of 2 meters with gold plate connectors, which, if you're like me, is just long enough for you to go ahead and chillax in bed and still be able to scroll the web without too much fuss. Very nice. It also features USB pass-through, so if you do have a fairly short cable on your mouse, or if you just want only a single cable running to your PC, well, what you know, that's all you have to do. Alternatively, if your mouse is wireless, you can always just go ahead and use it for a USB flash drive, saving you having to get up to go over to it. However though, bit of a buyer beware here, as it's only USB 2.0, and if you know anything about drives made in the past few years, you know that most drives are USB 3.0, not 2.0, which means there will be a speed bottleneck there. Anyway, but it's still a useful feature to have. It also features fully customizable RGB backlighting on a key-by-key basis with a whole variety of modes to choose from, although personally I prefer to keep it in this nice and solid colour as it fits in with my own build, which is a white, black and red theme. But for those RGB connoisseurs, you can have your unicorn vomit cake and eat it too. The keycaps, by the way, are mostly all-round goodness, being an MSI's usual gamery but more than perfectly legible text. Plus, they're also double-shot injection molded, which means that they will never rub off. Speaking of, the F and J bumps are so easy to find, and it's really nice just to be able to find the home roam without looking for once. And I do mean this as the amount of keyboards I've gotten through where it is impossible to find them. Also, it does feature a fairly standard array of media keys, although it would be pretty nice to have a previous and skip track button without having to manually change the registry to have some. Also, speaking of power users, I'm sorry, but there's no programmable macro key, so if you want to speed up an actual workload, you're going to have to do it the hard way. Speaking of work then, how does it actually perform in its job? Well, I've had this keyboard for, well, quite a few weeks now, and I can safely say I am perfectly happy with it. I've been typing out all of my scripts with it. Any sort of general typing tasks, such as, emails or anything else of the sort, it's an absolute dream to use and has really helped to speed up my own workflow. Even if it is using the fairly intermediate Cherry MX Reds, because of how smooth the action is and how stable the keys now are, any sort of typos caused by issue with the board itself are really a thing of the past for me now. Don't get me wrong, I've still got pretty clumsy typing, but even this has managed to rectify quite a lot of that. So, kudos MSI. It's pretty decent to use. Moving on to gaming then, it actually also feels a hell of a lot better than my old keyboards as well. To the point where even me, a pretty prolific console player for most of my life, I'm actually finding myself reaching for my keyboard more often than not these days. Because of how instinctively accurate it actually feels with how stable it suddenly is. Not to mention, due to the fairly heavy weight of this thing, which I'll get into later, it just doesn't move, which means I really can brag it about, so to speak. Another potential issue then for gamers is deck flex, when you press a key too hard and the actual keyboard itself starts to bend. Well, with this one I can honestly say that just doesn't happen. Due to its heavy aluminium backplates, it just doesn't bend. Doesn't flex. Also, it does weigh a fair bit, 1.4 kilos in fact, meaning that, well, it's probably the heaviest single part of my build excluding my case. But that's not a bad thing, is it? One, has huge rubber pads on the bottom of the keyboard, and two, it just doesn't move when gaming, meaning that you don't have to worry when you go press a key and your keyboard flies half a mile away. Yes, I'm over exaggerating, but you get my points. And honestly, it's all really appreciated. Price, whilst mentioned earlier, is honestly a bargain if you can get it at a discounted price. If not, it will cost you a cool 125 to 150 British pounds, or 135 to 155 American rubles. And at that price, it becomes a pretty unremarkable mechanical keyboard, with it being more in line with prices of others. But if you can get it at that discounted price, I would say it's honestly an absolute bargain, and probably really worth the money. And I would highly recommend getting it at that price, even with the issues that I've already mentioned in this video. Yes, some of the keycaps broke, but only some of them. If the rest break, I will retract this statement, seriously. But at the end of it, you still have a wonderful keyboard that is great to use, feels great, it types great, all that lot, and it's an absolute bargain of a price for a full mechanical keyboard, so I highly recommend it because I've been using this as a daily driver for about a month now. However, there are one or two niggly bits that I find to be just completely unacceptable. Right, remember those premium keycaps that I mentioned earlier? Well, here's the thing. Cleaning this keyboard yesterday, for the reviews, so it'll look all nice and shiny in the B-roll footage. Well, I set the keycaps on. All the keycaps were fine, except for four. Those four were those premium ones I mentioned. Anyway, after I put them on, they all felt a little bit loose. Turns out that all of them, due to their thinner construction on how they connect to the actual switches themselves, they all cracked. And one of them broke in half. Yeah, which is not exactly acceptable for something that's supposed to be, for gaming and extended use, and where some people get pretty damn brutal. How the hell did MSI expect it to be reasonable to use? Time for closing thoughts then, I guess. Well, I give this probably a 6 or a 7 to this MSI GK80, because, don't get me wrong, it is a pleasure to use and type on. It's got a pretty sturdy build quality overall, and, well, I mean, just look at it, it's gorgeous. But it does have quite a few niggling issues. One being the price if you can't get it at a discount, and two, the keycaps are just not up to snuff. I mean, the build quality on some of the keycaps is terrible, which is amplified because of how good the rest can be. Like, come on MSI, you can do better. But if you take that away, it is a good job. Anyway, this has been the 117th con. If you like what was featured in the video, there are links in the description on where you can buy it. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Any thoughts or questions, leave them in the form of a comment below. If you want to go ahead and check out my Facebook and Twitch page to stay up to date on the latest news with me, feel free to. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more content from me at the 117th con. Anyway, this has been the 117th con, signing off. Have a good day.